Hello Leo, and welcome to your June predictions. So I'm combining both horoscope and tarot. So I'm going to try to shuffle as quiet as possible, so that way we can focus on what basically I'm saying. So this upcoming month is going to be a really special focus on your friendships, on your hopes, and on your dreams. So that's going to be kind of a time for reinvigorating your social life. You're going to be also very intense. You're going to be dog with a bone. You're going to focus on your plans, on your projects, and mostly going to be focusing on your happiness. So you will get involved with possibly this community and with the networks, friends of the friends of the friends kind of a thing, and that's kind of going to be a spotlight, right? Although combining this with Venus retrograde, it is lasting until the 25th, that might be some kind of like problems that you will need to iron out, right? So that intensity that I was telling you about, it's almost like this whoosh, this kind of like zoom thing, right? Is sometimes going to clash with your social life. It might be also for some of your issues with money, and they can crop up, right? So you will need to take the lead, or you will need to take action, especially if it's something coming up with shared finances, shared loans, or shared debts, right? That can be also a focus on matters of the past, right? That's with the projects or friends or even the lovers, and it's going to be all the way until the 25th. It's going to almost like feel magnified, and you might formulate a full new approach to what matters to you, or how you want to connect, or what kind of groups you want to connect, or what your long-term happiness means for you. You're going to be recognizing what kind of tripped you up in the past, and you're going to put the formula straight kind of a thing, right? You're going to say, no, I'm not misdirecting myself anymore. You're going to have also the lunar eclipse on the 5th. That's going to bring a completely new theme, new song, new book, if you wish, not a chapter, and that's going to be relating to, for you, to romance, to creativity, to children or hobbies. It's going to be a huge big turning point, and it's going to be happening in your social life, or you might have some kind of creative project which kind of like also being called your quote-unquote baby, right? And so this is going to be a time to be brave. It's going to be the time to kind of like shed your inhibition, and you will really be that, like, Mr. or Mrs. Lionhead, and you'll be listening to your heart. I would advise you to take some time before you jump into action. So it's going to be reassessing your feelings, your true feelings about a person or a romance or something is going to maybe just come to you like a freaking flood, like tornado, right? And this may change everything. For some of you, it might mean letting something go in order to make fresh room. And whether this is like a relationship or whether this is like new project, is going to be interesting. Actually, it can be both. June also can be a good month to kind of like throw yourself into anything, because the passion is just going to be ruling the day. So whether this is like a project or research or some kind of investigation, or even the mystery arts, was going to be something that you're going to really like. It's not going to be satisfying for you just to get your get tarot reading, or whoever else you're listening to. You will want to know, why is she picking up the consequences? Why is she picking up sea kitten, right? And it's going to be really important to you. Like, is this kind of like, I know this is general meaning you're going to say, but this can be very particular. So you're going to find yourself Googling that kind of stuff this month, right? So you might also have interesting thing, because this is going to be also at the same time slow moving month. And this is really good, because in the grand scheme of things, you're going to see how many things you're going to really accomplish. You might have disagreements with others, and that can be due to some kind of competitiveness, or especially if you didn't balance things properly, whether this is at work, or this is like your home relationships, or relationships with your other half, right? It's probably going to be a really good idea to be maybe even controlling, sort of one fixed sign telling another fixed sign be controlling. It always goes well, right? So especially it's going to be highlighted between the 5th and 11th, that kind of stuff. So if you need to set your realization expectations straight. If anything is unrealistic, or you wanted to jump too high, too fast, too soon, you're going to be left feeling uninspired and unaccomplished. So that's why I even advised Gemini and Cancer before, you kind of like, you need to chunk it out, and in order to make it happen, it's almost like being Sherlock Holmes. Your interaction, however, are going to be lovely, are going to be really highlights of your month. You are going to be enthusiastic about finding an answer to a problem, and you're going to find that your work and your contacts will be almost like something that is really motivating for you, right? You will be putting also extra effort to improve your health. So the sun is actually heading into your privacy sector on the 20th. This is when we are entering Cancer, and a solar eclipse occurs just the day after. So the first day of the summer or the winter, depending in which hemisphere you are. So a new cycle of rest and replenishment is kind of like happening for you. And this is also the period when you enter, which is of letting go. But it's also about reviewing and recharging your batteries. And this applies to both spiritual and physical. You might find more personal fulfillment through compassion and through service. And it might be kind of like a little bit of retreat or withdrawal to do some kind of like soul searching. Maybe you're going to feel at that point that you have done the rounds, and now it is the time for yourself, by yourself. And it almost looks like on one hand that you're in some kind of race, that you really want to go forward, but on the other hand you're saying, well, even if I win this race, I didn't win it exactly the way I wanted. So it's almost like reconsidering if you want to be in this race, if you really want to kind of like go toward these kind of goals. So keep in mind that Venus turns direct on the 25th, and then Mars moves into harmony with your Sun on the 27th. So you'll be feeling kind of like far more confident. So this month, it's kind of like almost holding us down. Like I'm seeing that image in a cartoon that somebody wants to run and you're holding them by their bootstraps, and like they're just like running in a spot, right? And then all of a sudden on the 25th, it's just like keep on going, right? Especially when Mars moves into your Sun on the 27th, then it's just like, wow, it's like I'm in a rocket. It's kind of like launching off. Truthfully, it's not really all systems go. Like you still need to kind of click a few of those switches over there, right? Because we also have Mercury retrograde, which is beginning on the 18th. So that's also going to focus on your privacy sector. But your spirits will be rising. You will be allowing your mind to kind of like catch up with your heart. So like, I mean, on one hand, you want what you want. On the other hand, you're holding yourself back. So you're like saying to yourself, what the hell I want? Because you're kind of like feeling torn about that. So you're understanding this Gemini nature. Basically, that is what is happening. You will benefit from the ability to accept and appreciate things for what they really are. And allow room for others to be themselves, right? And don't put any pressure for anybody to perform, especially not for you, or to measure up. Obligations are going to be very seriously taken by you, and you're going to feel that you're ready. You're going to feel that you're ready. It's going to be some kind of steady energy. It's going to be working on both of your personal and professional levels, because when we get out of this Venus retrograde, everything is going to go really, really forward. So, okay, so let's see, in addition, what tarot messages you get. And hopefully my shuffling during the speech didn't annoy you too much. 7 of C. And look, it's also 8 of C. It's in reverse, so basically it's already happening. It's already going into this. I have hiccups, so somebody's thinking about you guys right now. 7 of C is talking about these, hey, all these bubbles, all these dreams, all of these beautiful things. But then you touch them and they collapse. Maybe you had this kind of a whole feeling that no matter what you do, it somehow is not materializing what you want. And then you get, and because this is reversed, it's already going into this 8 of C, because this is better. This is like you're not having those illusions anymore. You are like having 2 feet strongly grounded. But this doesn't mean that you are like feeling down. It actually makes you more motivated. Maybe you're moving on. of some kind of like sword. Like Eight of Cups is really talking about there's like some kind of distant call. You know what you want, right? Maybe you have been going through some kind of like argumentative issues with someone, or somebody who was always into game to win, and now you're saying, well, you know, this can be interesting, but this high drama is just like not what you want, kind of thing, right? So let's see, what else do we have here? And we have a Two of Fire. It's a decision-making time. Maybe there is no decision to be made. Maybe somebody else is making a decision for you, because this is like, should I stay? Should I go? What should I be doing this, right? And it's kind of like really hard to make a decision up. So basically this is the status quo, but this is like what I was telling you, that somebody's holding you and you're really not going up. In this case, I think you'll be holding yourself, because these are the past issues. Six of Cups showing up, and this is together amounting to that 8 Strength card, which is your card, which is like you are coming to your senses. There's like something that is propelling you forward. You're feeling really good about yourself. You're feeling really good about your decisions. And Five of Fire, it can talk about some kind of bickering. It can talk about involvement of the other people, that somebody wants to put their 2 cents in it. It talks also about playfulness, as you can see in this rendition of Five of Wands. But it can also talk about the boundaries, especially if there are some kind of like big core beliefs, such as religion, such as how people spend their money, how they want to do their life. And as much as somebody is really interesting, maybe, you know, it's really important to put your foot down and going to say, you know what, this is all great, but I know myself, I have been like this all my life, that's not going to change. And I really don't know if I can deal with this. And it's kind of like that understanding that maybe certain things are no-go. Nine of Earth, it looks like you came from a position where you feel comfortable. There was like some kind of comfort zone. It was like staying close to home. It's kind of like enjoying the fruits of your labor, feeling probably good at work. Maybe you're going to get extra responsibility at work. Maybe something that you did in the past, especially around February, like the later part of February, that is going to now be revisited for some kind of like reason. And in fact, whatever you did back then, if you were stalling things, or if you didn't do them well, you'll have to repair them right now. Or if you basically did them diligently, you're going to be rewarded in this particular situation. You have a Ten of Sky. So I'm wondering why you're getting Ten of Sky over here. Ten of Sky is feeling down, it's feeling lost, feeling you're losing something. But it's not a 9, it's a 10. Which means something is finishing and something else is starting at the same time. This poor kitty, he has his tail broken, he has lost his eye, he is against this fence, he cannot escape, the water is coming, holy moly, the thunder is there, he is going to lose all his lives. But maybe it's a time to leave all way of dealing with things in the past. Maybe people in your life remind you of past circumstances, right? Because the past keeps coming up over here. Maybe those past circumstances are not necessarily things that you really want to think about it, but maybe you're also going to think about how far you went. Ten of Skies is not a bad card. In fact, it's a card that says, well, you know what, there is like one way you're going from this point on, and that way is up. No matter where you are, if you're feeling good, it's going to be absolutely astounding. But even if you're feeling bad, it's kind of like going to go in a new direction. That kind of like level of indecision, that level of, you know, what do I do? How do I do it? Kind of like it was about maybe setting your boundaries. It was about, I really want this, but not at this price. And kind of like it was very important. And then you also have Sky Kitten reverse, and it's kind of like tricky. When this reverses, look at this, the kitten is looking, and there are ribbons, and we know how kitty cats get excited with the ribbons. But also the little kind of like dandelion is going to get squished, because you kind of like jump and step on things and step on toes that you really shouldn't, especially more so when it's reversed. So it could be somebody in your face, it could be somebody that is like blaming you for something. You might be told that you are the problem, and hence the Ten of Sky, right? Which is almost like the same card over here. It's the same flavor. It talks about exchange. It talks about a communication where one person thinks that by being loud or by being forceful, they get their way. And this might actually remind you of something from the past that you have dealt with, because your card is strength. All your life you're going to be trying to find how to get something gently and yet push your will through. So you are a fixed sign, but you are not like us Aquarians when you're a freaking tornado. It's just like you take everything down to the ground. You're saying, no, it's not worth it to take the world down. Let's kind of like see how I can move in increments. So this is your house, and you're getting the consequences or justice. This is karma card over here, and it's falling right into your house. Look at this, the kitty is all tangled up. Maybe you want something that is connecting to government. It's maybe connecting to some kind of legal process. This can also talk about marriage. And and you're like right now in a good situation. Something has happened that is turning tides in your favor. You're detangling yourself. You are getting yourself from a messy situation, getting yourself out of the messy situation. Something that you really wanted, because you can see there was like a little birdie that went in there, and then this kind of like was motivation behind all of that. So it was something that you wanted, but at the same time it feels like that certain complications have been done in a process. So when this card shows up, it says, you know, just you need to take your pause of this right now. Things are going to work out, and you don't actually have to do anything. You need to just observe. So don't try to exchange harsh words, but don't shy away from them either. In a sense, in a good sense, not, well, maybe I didn't say this properly, not harsh words, but don't run away from saying what is it you want. Very important. And if somebody's coming on strongly, don't shy away. Hold your ground. So this is your environment, and we have here 6 of fire. So look at this, we have a 6 and we have a 6 over here. So this is really telling me that could be soulmate or appearance of a soulmate. 6 of fire is really interesting card because we have a winner. We have a clear winner here. Look at this, all the other kitty cats are bringing their own hunts and presents to the matcha cat or to the top cat at this moment, right? And it's kind of like really interesting because you had this where you had to establish your things and establish your boundaries, and here is like we have a clear winner who kind of like won all of this. But the truth is, if this is about relationships, it's not about winning, because the moment when you have somebody win and not both people win, that's a lose situation. So if you have somebody in your life who wants to win at any cost, you have to figure out what is it worth to you. If this is something, as I said, because I feel this is a core value, it could be something about religion, it could be about some big chunks in life. And if you feel I'm going to let go, things are going to resolve, things are not going to resolve. This person is into power tripping, and you really need to realize that. Hopes and fears is 10 of C. You're pretending everything is well, but it's not well. 10 of C is, it's really interesting, you have 2 10s. So something is taking away this enjoyment. There is like something from the past that is coming through. But this is also saying, look, sometimes you fake it until you make it, and that actually really works, and this is going to be your case. You're putting a brave face, you're putting happy face, you're not necessarily feeling happy, but you are not feeling, you might be feeling sad through some process, and I think around the 18th is going to be a tricky situation for you. From the 18th to the 28th, and then when you start moving with the Mars in your wings, things are going to get better. And maybe this is why Tower is showing up. For those of you who do not kind of like come to these conclusions themselves, it's going to be tada, and this is going to be happening in the latter part of the month. So if you are moving yourself towards certain goals, if you're realizing that your needs are very important, if you're realizing that, you know, somebody wants to step on your toes or really don't care about your feelings or emotions, if you're being dragged also into some kind of like past, you will be right now feeling that, you know, you need to straighten things out. This is all about balance. It's not about getting what you want, but it's about getting what you need. So the key this month is going to be to establish that. What is Mr. Leo or Mrs. Leo needing right now? What is really important? This could be part of the considering family and considering, you know, what is the new direction to go. It almost looks like you're on a crossroads. and you're going to spend quite a bit of the month sitting on your hands, not really doing much. And maybe it's going to be some kind of interaction, maybe you're going to get blamed for it, but it's going to be very important this month to assert yourself. You have this big roar, and so if somebody wants to bark at you, you just have to go roar, right? Hear me roar kind of thing, as the song goes. The tower shows up when something shocking shows up, when something shocking is happening, when you need to reassess your own faith, your own willingness to move forward, your own willingness to rebuild things, and to ensure that things are done properly, that you have set proper boundaries. So if you don't do them on your own, Tower will do it for you. So just keep this in mind. All right, let me get an angel card for you, for my dear Leos, and you are getting patience. Yes, patience is the key. There's like something going on, and it's going to be the first 3.5 weeks of this month, something that you really want to progress much faster. You are getting very impatient, but there's like something that is brewing in the background. It's holding you back. You need to kind of like shed all your tears. You need to remove all the issues. You need to give space for your own voice to be heard at your work, at your family, with your other half. And it's going to be really important for you to understand what is the true meaning of winning. What is the true meaning of relationship? When you start getting this, it's going to be a different litmus test for you, for all the people that are coming in. You're going to put them under the big loop, and you might be the one who will bring the tower in your own life. You might be saying, I really need to shake things up. I'm too young to live like this for the rest of my life. And this doesn't mean like you are like in a miserable situation. This could mean like that you're simply, you know what they say, I was blind, but now I can see. So it's going to be taking you in a really good direction. So my dear Leo, I would love to hear from you. I would like to see what's going on, what is taking you down, what is taking you up. If any of this resonated, guys, subscribe, because the messages were meant for you. And if you want everything to resonate, contact me at cattarot.ca for your own private reading. And you know that I love you, and I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Don't forget to join my social media as well. Bye.